this is Kaushik, Ranchod here. Welcome to your immigration show. Today what we're going to talk about is the exceptional hardship waiver, and if you have questions you can contact us at 916-613-3553, but let's get into it. How do you get an exceptional hardship waiver approved? We're going to share a success story with you today for a foreign national who's from Greece, but this will apply to you even from whatever country that you are from. Now, you'll want to stay tuned to see what is working now. Before we get started into the details, you want to make sure that you qualify for an exceptional hardship waiver because you need to have a permanent resident spouse or child or a U.S. citizen spouse or child in order to be able to apply. Now, why would you want to apply for an exceptional hardship waiver? Well, one, if you're a physician, and in many cases physicians are not eligible for no objection waivers, as well if you're not eligible for a no objection waiver, and when you receive U.S. government funding, you're not eligible for a no objection waiver, well, it's time to look for an exceptional hardship waiver as an option. Now, a question that I get a lot here is, what's going on with the recent processing times? So you want to allow, right now, as I speak here in August 2020, you want to allow 1 to 2 years prior to expiration of your J1 to give you enough time to apply. So it's ranging anywhere from 1 to 2 years. Now I'm going to give you the specifics of this specific case to just give you an idea of what's happening right now. So we applied July 22nd, 2019. RFE was issued February 2020. We responded March 2020. We celebrated because we got a favorable I-613 from USCIS. Now, you probably don't know what that is, so let me explain to you what an I-613 is. That's when USCIS looks at the application and they give a favorable recommendation to the Department of State. They send it over to the Department of State to review and approve. Now, it's important to note that just because you get your case approved by USCIS does not mean that you will get your case approved by the Department of State. You might ask, well, why is that? USCIS approved it. Well, the Department of State in particular looks at if you had U.S. government funding, and if you have U.S. government funding, then they're going to evaluate the type of government funding that you have and evaluate your hardships and determine whether or not they feel like your hardships outweigh the fact that you got U.S. government funding. So you have like the USCIS needs to approve the case, plus you have the Department of State. Now, if the Department of State does approve the case, then they'll send it back to USCIS for final approval. So back to our particular situation, we had that I-613, it was sent over. Then the next thing that we did is on July 4th, 2020, we filed for an expedite request for the Department of State. And another celebration, July 6th, 2020, we got the expedite request approved. So we were so happy about that. Department of State approved, gave a favorable recommendation on July 16th, 2020. So another celebration, but we are now still waiting for a final approval from USCIS. Typically, when the Department of State gives a favorable recommendation and gives their approval, then USCIS will typically follow and approve. But we haven't, in this situation, received a final approval. We expect that any day now. So that layout there gives you an example of how long it takes for a case to get approved. Every case is different. No attorney is going to be able to speed up government processing times. It's up to the government on how long they take to process a case. And you can, if you want to find out the latest processing times, you can go to the USCIS.gov website and look up the processing times for I-612s on there, so you can find out what's happening. But within the last couple of years, we've seen around 1 to 2 years. Before that, it was going much faster, but these times change all the time. So that's why you want to talk to an attorney to find out how long it's going to take. Make sure you plan well in advance so you're not caught by surprise, or you're not out of status while you're waiting for an approval. So that's really important. So now let's move on to the next factor here of how did we get the case approved? So in this particular situation, the qualifying relative here was a US citizen child. And this US citizen child had special needs. Now, they did not, the issue is that they would have trouble getting services in Greece, and we were able to show documentation to that effect in Greece for their special needs. Another hardship factor was the fact that the parent would not be able to get a job that would be able to support the US citizen child adequately because the salary would be much less. So we had financial hardship, and then we also had issue with the special needs as well. And then of course, we got the case expedited. So that gives you a nice summary of how we got a case approved in 2020, what's happening right now, what's going on with the processing times. If you have questions, give us a call, 916-613-3553. And please smash the like button and comment if you like this video. It helps with the Google or YouTube algorithm. And talk to you next time. Have an amazing day and stay amazing.